Hello, my friends on YouTube. Today is the 16th of May, Sunday, 2021. I really don't like to talk about religions. Uh, I wanted always to keep that aside, at least for now. But what's happening in the Middle East, in between Palestinian and Israelis, uh, leaves you with no choice but talk about that. Especially, I remember when I gave explanation between uh, the Sunni and the Shia. Many people appreciated that because many people don't know what the heck is going on. What's Muslim Sunni? What's Muslim Shiite? And why are they fighting? So when we went to the roots of the problem, it clarified the situation to many. Today, I would like to speak about the roots of the problem between the Muslims and the Jews, or between the Arabs and the Israelis. Okay? To do that, I actually had to go to the Bible, to the Old Testament, and I'm going to you can read the story for yourself about Abraham, the father of Ishmael and Isaac, the descendant of the Arabs descent from Ishmael, and the Jews descent from Isaac. They are two brothers, but it's long. But the part that I want to emphasize is Genesis 20, I think 20, Genesis 21, verse 8 through 20. This is the story of Abraham kicking Hagar, his servant, whom he married, or his wife Sarah asked him to marry so that they can have lineage, because she didn't have a son. She was an old lady, Abraham was an old man, and therefore they asked. That was the tradition back then. I'm not saying people should do that now. She asked him to take his servant, marry her, and have her conceive son for him so he can have lineage. The idea of lineage since the beginning is very important. When we see the Jewish, many people who are telling me, oh, many people convert to Judaism and they become Jewish. Yes, but the lineage, the sons of Jacob, I'm going to talk about it today. If you go back in history, there is a struggle between Isaac and Ishmael. Between Isaac and Ishmael, the two brothers. The older brother Ishmael, the younger brother Isaac. If you go further back, there was a struggle also between the older brother Esau and no, I'm sorry. That was later. There was a struggle, another struggle within the lineage of Isaac between Jacob and his older brother Esau. Yes, they were twins, but Isaac was born first, so he's called the elder, the older person. But if you go back in history, there was a struggle between the older son Cain and the younger son Abel. And even if you go further back, there was a struggle between Lucifer, as it says in the book, in the Genesis, between Lucifer, who was older, and Adam, who was created later, younger. So that struggle is taking place since the beginning of time. the older always trying to harm or get rid of the younger. In the situation of Lucifer, he became, as the story in the Bible says, he became Satan, and he destroyed or caused Adam and Eve to fall. In the case of Cain and Abel, the older Cain killed the younger physically now. You could say Lucifer destroyed Adam spiritually or internally, Adam and Eve, and Cain destroyed the chosen person of God, who was at this time Abel. He destroyed him physically. And the struggle continued to Ishmael and his younger brother Isaac. The same struggle. Okay? If the Muslim just take a step back, why do you want to wipe Israel out of the map of the earth? Ahmadinejad said it clearly. And is not there is a treaty between Egypt and Israel in 1977, when President Carter in America and President Sadat of Egypt and Menahem Begin of Israel agreed on peace treaty, and with that Egypt took the Sinai desert back. But this is really, all of us, is Muslim and Jews, Arabs and Israeli, know that this is an armistice, is not really peace. It's peace until something else happens. And if you ask most Muslim, that there is a deep hatred and resentment and deep anger towards the Jews. You don't see a Muslim hating a Buddhist person or a Japanese person, but they hate the Jews, their brothers, without any logical explanation, really. And the reason goes way back to the two brothers, Isaac and Ishmael. So read that story. I'm going to speak about it. The Muslims, they don't believe prophets make mistakes. And the Muslim believe that Abraham was a prophet. The Jewish and the Christian tradition don't believe that. They believe Abraham was the father of the Arabs and the Jews, and the father of faith. That's it. He was not a prophet. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether he was a prophet or not. But another mistake the Muslim believe in, that if you are a prophet, if you are chosen by God, you don't make mistakes. And this is a big mistake. Let's see. You have Abraham. He was given a servant by the Egyptian pharaoh, a girl, her name was Hagar, was a gift. That was the tradition back then. You can give a human being to another person as a present. Okay, and you do with that person whatever you please. You can treat that person as a slave, or you can marry this person. You can treat that person as a servant or as a subhuman, or even kill that person. You own the slave. The slave has no rights. So he was given that girl Hagar as a present, and he took her with his wife and went to the land of Canaan. In the story, it says God promised Abraham a son. However, his wife was old and she didn't conceive. So the wife, Sarah, suggests to Abraham to take Hagar, the young girl, and marry her so that she may conceive. And there are two things here. First, he's yearning for lineage. Although it says that God told him, you will have lineage, not with a servant, you will have lineage. He didn't wait. There's a lack of faith here for those who believe that Abraham did not make mistake. He didn't believe what God told him. So there is a lack of faith. Two, it's a young girl, so, and he's an old man. Let me enjoy myself here. My wife is old, so he went there. He didn't say no. God told us he will give us a son. No, straight ahead. And she conceives. Once in the story, once she conceived, she started to be mean to the wife, Sarah. Why? Because she has the child coming on the way. She is young and she's fertile, and even if it was a girl, she can conceive again and give a boy. So she started to actually despise Sarah. I'm sure Sarah was hurt, but she continued because they have lineage now. That son actually is considered the son of Abraham and Sarah. So she had to accept that. But soon in the story it says that Sarah herself conceived, and she gave birth to a child, called him Isaac. Now there is no need for that mean servant who is excuse me, who's telling me that I'm an old lady and I do not conceive. Now I have my son. She told Abraham, get her out of here. Kick her out. Once again, Abraham could have said, no, this is my son. This is also my child. No, I can give them a house nearby so you women don't fight or argue among yourselves. He could have done something else, but you read in the story that he gives Hagar and her son a skin of water. That's, if you live in that desert, I lived in this desert for 3 years, and it gets as hot as hell, and a skin of water for 2 people practically is 1 day supply. And if he gave them a supply of water for 1 day, I'm sure he gave them supply of food for 1 day. That was a death sentence, literally. That was a death sentence, to send a woman and her son to the desert of Arabia. They are to die. So somehow she survived. She survived. And the boy grew up, and then she took him an Egyptian wife. So she is Egyptian, the wife of her son is Egyptian. And he multiplies, and from this son come the Arabs in Arabia. What I would like you to think of is, think of a woman who have been sold as a slave, and she will march to an area she doesn't know, with a language she doesn't speak, with people whom she doesn't know. I mean, if she was sold as a slave to an Egyptian family, she can still see her relatives. She can speak and communicate with other people because they speak the same language. But imagine she is uprooted from where she is, gone to another place. There is hard feeling. And when she felt that there is security coming by conceiving, soon this security shattered. Further, she was kicked out to the desert to die. There's no good feeling even towards Abraham. Actually, the Muslim, they say the Abraham and Isa, like the in words, they respect Abraham. But actually, reality is, with that feeling, there's no much respect to the grandfather Abraham from the Muslim community. And this is projected towards Isaac and his descendants. That anger of all that accumulated in Hagar, and also Ishmael, because he was a teenager, he can see what's happening. He was a young boy, I think he was 13. So yes, he is young, and he can see, he can comprehend what's going on. He cannot be independent yet, probably, but he can see the mistreatment here. So he also probably had his own anger, plus his mother projected that anger to him. So there was, I have to say that Ishmael must have had a lot of hate and anger towards the Jews, and that kept multiplying, going from one generation to the next until today. There is unexplainable hate from Muslim towards Jews. If it's about faith, why Muslims don't hate the Buddhist or the Hindus? In the Quran, the hate always directed towards the Jews and the Christian. Nothing about the hate towards the Far East religion. You are professing that the Jews and the Christian are they have books God revealed to them, so they have connection to God. Whereas in the Far East, it's merely philosophy, human philosophy. I mean, logically, you should direct your anger towards the people in the Far East because they have no direct connection to God. But you are directing anger towards the Jews and the Christian. Why? Because of lineage. Blood lineage. In the Bible, it is a major important element, but not so many people speak about it. I really don't like to talk about religions, but there is no choice here. The region could erupt. Practically World War III could erupt, because world wars don't start just suddenly. Major power attack another major power. No, it starts but by small countries used or pushed to have another dispute with another country, and then other countries get involved, and the whole world is involved, and the whole world is a mess. Okay, so I'm hoping somebody, I'm nobody, but at least somebody can see something through that. In the Bible, always emphasize lineage. The blood is emphasized, and when something to be offered, there has to be draining of blood so that purification could happen. The blood lineage also, when God chose Abraham to be his elect, he commanded him to circumcise himself and others by cutting the foreskin of the male organ to drain symbolically the bad blood, so that purification, symbolically, some purification would happen in that lineage, in this bloodline. So let's go back. The struggle between Ishmael and Isaac, this is not a new struggle either. If you go back, actually there was also, I'm sorry, later on, within the lineage of Isaac, there was another struggle between Jacob and Esau. Esau is the older brother. He wanted to kill Jacob, who took the blessing, the lineage, and from that lineage all prophets and messengers came. The person who takes that lineage is the chosen people of God that God works with. They inherit the blessing of God. So the struggle between Jacob and Esau was over that blessing to inherit the lineage of God. The struggle between Ishmael and Isaac is also because they want to have that blessing, to be the lineage whom God works through, the blessed lineage. I don't want to speak why the blessed lineage now, that's a different issue, but I'm talking about the history of it. And if you go further back, there was a struggle between Cain, the older, Abel, the younger. If you go further back, a struggle between Lucifer, older, Adam, younger. In the Bible it says Lucifer destroyed Adam and Eve spiritually. He killed them spiritually. The older killed the younger spiritually. Struggle. You come down. God wanted to work through Abel. Cain didn't like that very much. So what happened? If I kill him, I am the one who will take the blessing. There's nobody else. So he killed his brother to inherit the blessing. He didn't. But that struggle is way back. So now, the struggle between the Muslim and the Jews is over lineage, the blood lineage. Whoever gets to be the elect of God, there has to be some purification of blood, something God will do in that bloodline. For those who always say, oh, there are people who convert to Judaism. Yes, but the people who were like the elect were the descendant of Jacob. That means Esau, even Esau, who is the son of Isaac, is really not the direct lineage who inherit the blood lineage. Jacob and his descendants. And that is causing the jealousy that the Muslim have. Why do you want to destroy Israel? Why did Cain want to destroy Abel? He thought by destroying Abel, I am the only religion now. I am the one who is to have the blessing. It didn't work this way with Cain, and it will not work like that with Ishmael's descendants. So I know Ahmadinejad, the former president of Iran, he said it clearly. We won't wipe Israel out of from the face of the earth. Why? Cain wants to destroy Abel so he can inherit the blessing. I am now the chosen people of God. Okay? But God, according to that book, the Bible, what I read, it is working this way through until the coming of Jesus. I know the Jews don't believe that Jesus was the Messiah. That's their business. And the Christian believe he was. The Jews, they have certain expectation or certain qualification has to be in that person, the Messiah. some Muslims think the Messiah is the name of Jesus, another name, but Messiah is actually a job to do. Okay, so the Jews couldn't see all the qualification of Jesus to be qualified as the Messiah whom they are waiting for, and suddenly, after Jesus is gone, 600 years later, a person from nowhere in Arabia, way out of the lineage, coming and saying, I am the final prophet. Practically, Muhammad was saying, I am the Messiah. He didn't say it verbally, but he implied it. He said, I am the last brick in the building, the last stone. Huh? The last stone. Now, all religions are fulfilled. Everything is done. Practically, this also what Jesus said is done. So the struggle is over that blessing. And if Netanyahu per se come out today and say, okay, all the Jews all over the world, we become Muslim, no more Jews who are Muslim, we convert to Islam. Do you think the Palestinians will still continue to fight the Jews? No. Why? Because they think now we inherited that foundation and everybody is Muslim, so we have the blessing, Islam. And if you claim the root of that lineage, which is Judaism, you will claim Christianity as well, because Christianity is a branch of Judaism. Jesus was a Jew. So ultimately is the control of the whole world. I hope that explains certain things, and we hope to hear from you. Thank you very much.